Hello guys, welcome back to our anime explainer. Guys, please like the video and subscribe to my channel. Today is explanation of upcoming episode of Swallowed Star Part 213 based on novel. So let's start. When the sealed star fell before, Black Tea didn't participate, but this didn't affect his reputation in any way. The four camps in the outer region wars all had terrifying beings like Lifefall, Da Long, Nanjun, Seven Blade and so on. They were all renowned figures. Black Tea was one that could match them as well. Even though he was from the human camp, he was from a distant universe region, and not from the Hong Alliance. He had a true treasure hammer named Black Tea, hence his name. It's Black Tea. He's actually here, and he is so fast. Blade River is in trouble, but Black Tea's terrifying strength. Back then when he had fought with Da Long for quite a while, both of them decided that it was best to call a truce finally. Within the entire 7th battlefield, Black Tea is definitely one of the pinnacle beings. Blade River is disadvantaged. If Black Tea is here, Blade River's treasure isn't for us to take. Do you think you could ever get Blade River's treasure? With a flap of his wings, he'll easily leave you far behind. The distant other race warriors had all given up. They were clear that this level of being, even with 7 Emperor limits combining forces, they would all be easily knocked back by him. Hence, the other warriors simply stayed back and watched the two battle. Two silhouettes were floating in space with a distance between them. One was huge, while the other was tiny. However, both energies made the others around them tremble. He seems quite strong. The tall and demonic Black Tea's voice boomed. To be able to receive my hammer, he must be quite strong. Since I entered the outer region wars, this is the first time I'm actually dealing with a level of warrior like that. It really makes my blood boil. Come on, let me see if your reputation is well deserved. Luo Feng stared intensely from the other end and said, both sides filled with fighting spirit. Both of them were strong. Battling with other strong warriors and pursuing the limits of the universe, this was Luo Feng's ambition. Good. I'll let you see if my name is real. Black Tea's voice boomed as he rushed forward instantly. He became a lightning bolt, and his speed was terrifying. If he had tossed out his hammer, that hammer had a speed so fast that it even shocked Luo Feng initially. However, his own speed wasn't something Luo Feng actually bothered with. With the Shouwu wings, his own instantaneous speed far exceeded Black Tea's. Luo Feng flapped his wings and easily flew far away. Amidst the broken space fragments, his speed was demonic, easily dodging and changing directions. Go! 8 black balls floated in his left palm. The 8 black balls immediately revolved in space, and the lore engravings on them glowed with gold light. Luo Feng's terrifying willpower that exceeded even that of knights triggered the laws, and instantly a few 100-meter-long beast god formed. Howl! The beast god howled. It was actually a spirit weapon taking on this form, and its speed was absurd. It appeared before Black Tea and instantly whipped its tail at him. HMPH. Black Tea wielded his hammer and stepped forward, causing the large amount of space fragments to instantly become stream particles. He swung his hammer heavily. He had casually thrown it earlier, but this time he swung it with his full might. The beast god's tail actually recoiled and evaded the head-on clash with the hammer, whipping it back at Black Tea. So fast. Black Tea was shocked. He had used his full force to swing the hammer. Hence, he was unable to bring it back on time to defend. With a howl, he used his left hand to punch. A dark red metal covered his hand. It seemed like a special punch, as it triggered the laws, causing the space about to completely crumble into fragments. Rumble. The punch clashed with the tail whip. Black Tea's punch could easily smash through a star, however, he felt intense pain from this clash. Good. He actually howled malevolently, getting even crazier. Ha ha ha. Black Tea, your hammer's speed seems slower than before. The distant Luo Feng controlled the beast god to once again attack. In mid-air, the beast god flashed time and again. As it flashed, its tail grew even more demonic, occasionally whipping, and at other times recoiling. It was extremely fast, and it made the enemy unable to trace it. After all, even for normal animals, their tail whip movement was extremely fast. The beast god was the same. Rumble. Rumble. Black T unleashed his strength. He swung his hammer against the beast god's tail over and over. Every time it hit, it knocked the 8 black balls far away. The only thing was that since Luofeng was a spirit reader, even if the 8 sealed stars were knocked away, they could immediately gather and reform the beast god image, attacking once again. This was the difference between a spirit reader and fighter. The fighter couldn't back down. Once his weapons were knocked away, his body would take the blow. A spirit reader, however, even if his weapons were knocked away, as he would usually attack from afar, he could still reform his weapons and attack immediately. He actually blocked it over and over. Luofeng was shocked as he controlled the 8 sealed stars. His usage of the hammer has changed too. Every attack has a revolving force, and with each attack, the force grows. Even if I make the tail dodge the attack, he would still be able to defend. Rumble. 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 The demonic Black T howled as he rushed at Luofeng with his hammer. Every step was as fast as lightning. Even with the beast god's tail whipping at him, he easily knocked it away with a swing. It was almost like a huge car rushing forward, easily knocking away a bicycle. However, this bicycle simply reformed over and attacked again. What power! Luofeng's expression changed, feeling the difference between himself and Black T. The rest of them who were watching this battle felt the same way. That toss earlier, I could still withstand it, probably because he didn't use too much force initially. Now that is serious, each blow is like a huge mountain crashing down. Even my 8 sealed stars are knocked away easily. Even with the 8 sealed stars, I'm still losing. I can only barely affect his speed. The bicycle may have been knocked away over and over again, however it still managed to slightly affect the car's speed. I'm not his match. If I go all out and let Fu Shui use his ice net on him, there would still be a chance. However, he hasn't even burned his undying body. It's obvious he doesn't wish to go all out with me. Luofeng thought. Since we've already tested each other's strength, it's time to go. However, before that, his gaze turned to Snowhorn Emperor. He couldn't forget the one that was most passionate about killing him. I'll deal with him first. Asterisk 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 asterisk. The surrounding number of warriors kept growing. They all formed their own little teams and floated about, gazing from a distance at the fight. Black T was intrepid and powerful. Even with Blade River's full attacks, he easily knocked them away. However, Blade River remained far away and Black T had no way to get close. Even if he rushed forward, Blade River could easily get away. Even though Blade River can easily deal with an Emperor limit, he still isn't a match for Black T. Black T's strength is heavenly. Even though his strength surpasses Blade River, but his speed cannot even touch him. The warriors around could all see this. Ha ha ha. Black T sure is powerful, much respect. But I'll be leaving first. His voice was filled with spirit energy, which resounded throughout the space. Luofeng flapped his wings and formed a silver flash. With one flash, he once again reached Snowhorn Emperor. You. Snowhorn, who was with his teammates, changed his expression. Do you think you can take my treasures? You sure don't know your place. 6 purple-lit black balls formed a beast god projection and howled as it rushed at Snowhorn. His teammates all actually dodged. Having seen his power, none of them dared to offend Blade River. Tear! The right claw tore Snowhorn apart as the 6 balls instantly pierced through, destroying over 30% of his god body. Blade River! I will have my revenge! He howled in anger as he instantly self-destructed. He knew that he wasn't a match for Blade River, but he was still an Emperor limit. It was definite that he would be revived in the future. However, if he was forced into a coma and taken away, then he would have no hope left for revival. Rumble. The force of the shockwave rippled in all directions. An explosion with only 30% of his undying body left was something the Emperor limits could withstand against together. Only a few pinnacle Emperors were heavily injured, but no one fell. Just like that, Snowhorn fell. With so many warriors watching him, Blade River left just as he said. Before he left, he even killed an Emperor limit Snowhorn Emperor, and the speed he displayed as he left made all the warriors around shake their heads and sigh. Even Black Tea, only when he tossed his hammer could he catch up to him. But he was clear too, that when he tossed his hammer, Luo Feng would immediately use the Beast God projection to defend. It wouldn't even affect his fleeing. In an instant, Blade River flew out of the space lockdown area and with a teleport, he vanished from sight. What power, what speed! Black Tea's voice boomed, he sighed before he became a beam of light and vanished. The broken space fragments began to recover, and the continent that had been floating within the whirlpools for so long had been completely pierced through, revealing a huge hole with a diameter of hundreds of thousands of kilometers. Hundreds of warriors floated there, still stunned at the scene that just took place. Suddenly, a powerful energy appeared in mid-air. An armored metal person glowing with black light appeared, and his formless pressure spread out, causing the hundreds of human warriors to grow silent. It's Lifefall Emperor. It's the automaton Lifefall Emperor. He's from the automaton race. How'd he get here so fast? Haven't you heard that he gave out a bounty for Blade River's location? There were definitely some from the human camp that revealed the location earlier, allowing him to rush over. Almost all of the human warriors were emperors. However, there were many low and high emperors around. Against the powerful Lifefall, they didn't dare challenge him. Lifefall stood in space, gazing about. He roared, "Where's Blade River?" Lifefall. The warriors of the human camp may not dare challenge him, but that didn't mean they feared him. A warrior the size of a small mountain spoke. Blade River had just battled Black Tea and left right after. Along the way he even killed Snowhorn Emperor. He should have teleported via God Country far away by now. He fought Black Tea. Lifefall looked at the warrior. The warrior boomed, "You can see for yourself." A light projection appeared in mid-air, producing a 3D image. This was something that Earth had even back in the base era. However, the universe technology was obviously more advanced, as it was 100% simulation of the battle between Blade River and Black Tea that replayed before them. Lifefall watched on right until the end. Him and Black Tea both belonged to the pinnacle of beings in the outer region wars. At their level, they could see wonders and little things within the battles. Without a doubt, this battle was but a test from both sides. Unless they truly wanted to go all out, no one would actually burn their undying bodies. Black Tea and Blade River both didn't. Black Tea only used his most basic methods, his God Hammer. Lifefall muttered, he only used one of the 3 techniques. And Blade River? I heard he's most proficient in blade work, yet he used a spirit weapon this time. And he has Heavy Arrow as his slave. The report even said that Chen Chen and Ji Hong followed behind him. Chen Chen was saved by him, while Ji Hong is from another camp. For him to be so respectful, he should be his slave too. Just how many slaves does he have? His speed is crazy. His defense was renowned before, and now he even revealed a spirit weapon. Lifefall felt like this Blade River was truly mysterious, with so many trump cards. Just the fact that he didn't even let his slaves attack showed his own confidence. The many human warriors all looked at Lifefall, observing his reactions. When he finished viewing the battle, he was silent for a while before saying, "Blade River is worthy of his name, and even if he has true treasures, he deserves them." After which, he teleported away. Lifefall had left, however those words made the hundreds of warriors there shocked. Lifefall has recognized Blade River's strength. He recognizes that Blade River is worthy of his treasures. What a pity, looks like it'll be hard to see the both of them ever clash. Since Lifefall says so, no one will go after Blade River anymore. This fight has let Blade River prove his strength. The many warriors sighed. The circle of warriors was as such that only the strong were worthy of true treasures. The weak would have to be careful not to reveal their treasures. If not, they would be attacked. And Lifefall, even Seven Blade, which one of these beings didn't have many treasures? Seven Blade, his 7 blades alone were true treasures along with the many others he had. Black Tea and Lifefall were similar. Everyone in the outer region wars knew about their treasures, yet no one ever attacked them for the treasures. This was strength. And this fight, with Blade River facing off against Black Tea, that was proof of his strength. It proved that he had that level of strength too. Maybe he was still weaker than Black Tea, but his speed and terrifying defense made him as hard to deal with as the others. Asterisk 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 asterisk. This fight thus began to spread the legend of Blade River throughout the outer region wars. Countless warriors began to compare Blade River with Black Tea. Black Tomb, Seven Blade, Da Long etc. In their eyes, he may be slightly weaker than the others, but his speed would leave many in despair. I'd rather meet Seven Blade and Lifefall than meet Blade River. There's still a chance of fleeing against the others. However, against Blade River with space lockdown, who can outmatch him in speed? We won't be able to escape. Be careful to not mess with Blade River. Over 6,000 years ago, he could already withstand the blast of the strongest flame god crystal. But right now he's even stronger. It's absurd. His defense is strong and his speed is crazy. It's better to avoid him. The legend of Blade River thus spread far and wide amongst the many warriors in the universe, making him a renowned being in the universe. Luo Feng, however, had already left Twin Whirlpools after that fight, teleporting straight to humanity. Virtual Universe Company Base. Luo Feng took on the form of his Sector Lord self, sitting in the Virtual Universe Company ship and headed straight to the Primal region, Primal Chaos City. Your Majesty. Your Majesty. The Emperor Undying in charge of the ship said respectfully. Luo Feng just smiled and nodded as he found a single cabin to rest in. Captain, is there a need to be that courteous with him? He's only a Sector Lord. With your strength as a High Emperor, you can kill him with a wave of your hand. An undying member of the ship said. Beside him, the other members were all discussing. That's right, he just got lucky and became the disciple of the city leader. If not for that, he's only a Sector Lord. Why bother? This trip was specially organized just for him. If it were normal Sector Lords, they'd have to wait till the numbers had tallied before we'd take off. The captain laughed. Even though he's only a Sector Lord and I can easily kill him, he is still the disciple of the city leader. We can say this secretly, but never ever say it out loud. If he chose to pursue the matter, no one can protect you all. We understand. Relax, Captain, we are not stupid. We are just saying, I just cannot stand his behavior, as if we are supposed to be respectful of him. The undying member said unhappily. The captain shook his head. It was normal to feel unjust as he felt that way too, but he still had to maintain absolute respect if he wanted to climb up the ranks of the Virtual Universe Company. If his strength was insufficient, he couldn't offend anybody. And a being like Luo Feng was one he definitely couldn't offend. Humph, the glory of the old days has passed. It's been close to 10,000 years after he became the disciple of the city leader, yet I've never heard of him having any achievements. He's probably been forgotten by many. The captain thought. Asterisk 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 asterisk. The ship flew to a stop in the air above the city. Your Majesty. Your Majesty. With the captain leading, the members all sent off Luo Feng respectfully. Luo Feng gazed at the primal chaos energy that engulfed the ancient city below. Ever since he became the disciple of the city leader, he had gotten the rights to be a permanent resident here. Actually, even with his level on the Heavenly Bridge alone, he already had that right. Primal Chaos City, True Yang's residence. Luo Feng rushed into the residence, seeing some disciples in name along with other true disciples. Senior Luo Feng. Many disciples within shouted passionately at him. Luo Feng asked them to find out where True Yang's current living quarters was. After a while, he rushed into a yard and stopped suddenly. I've heard you from far away, why aren't you coming in? True Yang's voice resounded from the yard. Luo Feng smiled and entered the door. True Yang sat there, with a wave, the doors shut. Have you come with nothing to see me? True Yang sat there and looked at Luo Feng, seemingly cold and indifferent. Luo Feng, however, smiled and with a flip of his hand, brandished a red wine bottle. This was about the size of a palm, and was peculiarly shaped, almost like an orangutan shape, with complex engravings carved on its surface, and it glowed with fire law energies. Luo Feng placed this bottle on his teacher's table. According to what you said, I have to bring wine to visit you. Luo Feng said seriously, I wonder if this satisfies you. Very satisfied. Tru Yang stared wide-eyed at this burning wine bottle. After careful observation, he extended his furry hand to touch it, nodding, indeed, this is it. Damn, only those with huge amounts of wealth in humanity can afford this, and even so, this would take an emperor limit's entire wealth. There's extremely few such wine amongst humanity. I've only tried one glass before. I didn't expect. Hee hee. Tru Yang immediately smiled happily. My good disciple, the powerful Blade River Emperor, looks like your rewards from the outer region wars have been huge. Hee hee. Luo Feng smiled. It was huge indeed. The biggest reward, of course, was still the life or death inheritance from Star Tower, the Star Map and Pearl Tower. After over 6,000 years of torture, his willpower had evolved greatly, and his beast god presence had reached another level too. In terms of wealth. During that 1 month of massacre in Star Tower with over 40 battles, everyone got several billions worth of wealth, occasionally more. In all, how much was that? Even though while massacring, he would only occasionally activate the virtual universe synchronized broadcast to accumulate contribution points. He didn't declare more than half of them. Even so, the number of points he got was still shocking. The amount of wealth he could exchange from that may not be as much as the massacre, but it was still very high. If the rewards weren't big, I wouldn't have been able to afford this Purple Flame 8 wine. Luo Feng said. After I retired, I discovered there was this one bottle within the army system. I was shocked that they actually had it. I immediately thought of you and bought it without any hesitation. Ha ha, Tru Yang couldn't help but laugh out loud. He rubbed the bottle in his hands, as he was extremely happy. The Purple Flame 8 wine was something only a special life form of the universe, the Purple Flame 8 could produce. Even though it had the name ape, in truth the human and ape race had no relation to it. In fact, it was produced by the universe as a ball of purple flames that was somewhat resembled an ape. It was actually a mysterious flame. With powerful energies. There were over 10,000 purple flame apes in the universe. However, over the years, their numbers only dropped without ever going up. However, the years also resulted in several super beings, plus with their special living environment, like some terrifying flame regions that even knights didn't dare enter. The knights would instantly be reduced to ashes within. However, the flame apes weren't worried about this. They were in fact most renowned for their wine, hence naming it the Purple Flame 8 wine. As for this wine, just its flavor alone made it a top-class wine. Of course there were countless good wines in the universe, just the taste alone wouldn't give it such a high price. The first point of this wine was it was beneficial to the body and soul. Anyone who drank this would feel his or her comprehension of the fire laws grow. Their bodies would be more adept at the fire laws and thus become stronger with it. The second point was that it would definitely get one drunk. Even the strong ones, be it knights or more, as long as they didn't purposely wipe off the alcohol from within after finishing one cup, they would naturally get drunk. Once they awake from it, they would feel all headaches and troubles vanish after. To the strong, they favored this point even more mainly because it was extremely hard for such beings to even get drunk. It took endless wealth to achieve this effect. Other than these 2 points, there were many other abilities. One cup could make a normal person evolve into a universe-level warrior, and drinking more would make him one with an extreme high level of understanding of the fire laws. Of course, no one would waste billions to hundreds of billions just to nurture a universe-level warrior. Even an undying wasn't worth 1% of this one cup. For this wine, Luo Feng had spent 80 billion. Your luck was good. Tru Yang exclaimed. The army system has many treasures within, as they are provided by the countless races. And many of them aren't from the Hong Alliance. Many are from the distant regions of the universe, and the treasures they provide form the true treasure trove of the army. There are many of other races, hence occasionally there would be special treasures. Only thing is they require contribution points to exchange for. Even if a powerful warrior discovered this bottle of wine, very few would actually exchange so much contribution points just for it. Hence you got it. Right, there was only this one in the trove. Luo Feng smiled. Even I cannot afford to drink too much of this, I'll drink a little at a time. Tru Yang's eyes gleamed peculiarly. I'll bring some good brothers over and make them drunk. Luo Feng couldn't help but laugh. What's your plans on this return? Tru Yang asked. I'm going to attempt the Primal Sky Mountain first. Luo Feng said. After that I'll head out to explore some secret regions. Ah. Relax, teacher, I'll definitely head to those less dangerous ones. Not the renowned and risky ones, I know myself well. That's good. Tru Yang relaxed. Even so, you still have to be careful. The secret regions will occasionally have dangers that exceed your imagination. They are after all special places. Their laws don't always follow the rest of the universe. I understand. Luo Feng nodded. I know your strength too, Blade River. Tru Yang laughed as he said this. The name Blade River had indeed caused quite a storm in the outer region wars. He was extremely renowned now, and even within the emperors of humanity, he was one of the top. Those stronger than Blade River are very few. Other than Tru Yang and Heavenly Feather and the other invincible emperors that had lived for trillions of years, other than that, there were none. In terms of the younger generation, only Seven Blade and Meng Sui Emperor and some others could compare. You have to keep your Blade River identity an absolute secret. Tru Yang emphasized. I dare to stay this here in Primal Chaos City because I've blocked off all scans here, and this is the territory of the city leader. I understand. Luo Feng nodded. Head over to the Primal Sky Mountain. Tru Yang laughed. It's been a few thousand years. I often hear others discuss about how you haven't done anything. It's made many strong warriors unhappy, standing above others without strength. It's natural they are unhappy about it. When you finish the Sky Mountain, come drink with me. Tru Yang hugged the bottle of purple flame ape wine. Yes, I'll head over now. Luo Feng sat before him and closed his eyes, connecting to the virtual universe. This punk sure is straightforward. Tru Yang blinked. Asterisk 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 asterisk. Virtual universe, Sky Mountain. The mountains beside stood taller than the other. When Luo Feng appeared, he flew towards the tallest of the three, the Primal Sky Mountain. As he was a Primal Region member, he naturally could attempt it. At the foot of the majestic mountain, three silhouettes sat cross-legged, playing some unseen game. White Ape, there's someone. Someone is here. Quick, get up. The three silhouettes seemed rusty, as they stood up. The tall and sturdy bull man looked at Luo Feng, laughing immediately. So it's your Majesty Luo Feng. Even though you are the disciple of the city leader, you are overconfident to attempt the Sky Mountain. You are only Sector Lord level. Bullhead, what are you saying? This is His Majesty Luo Feng, what's there he cannot do? The ape man chimed in. Your Majesty, are you going to begin? The snake lady glanced at him, her gaze almost like water. Luo Feng laughed, this feels so familiar. Familiar? The three were stunned. I'm about to begin. Luo Feng smiled and a shield appeared in his hand. It was the Beast God armament. Fighting in the virtual universe, his Tower Pearl, the Shawu wings, the star map, everything was naturally gone. Even things that boosted his power like the General Armor and General Soul were gone. All he had was his normal Sector Lord body that was similar to all the Sector Lord geniuses, but the only difference was his willpower and consciousness strength. Of course the Beast God armament was something he chose. The one he had now definitely wasn't as good as the one in reality, but it was enough for a Sector Lord to use. Come. The bull man waved his huge axe. Let's see your strength. The ape man's gaze shot out like lightning. Your Majesty Luo Feng, I feel sorry for you. The snake lady's formless soul attack had already begun. How? A beast god projection appeared in mid-air. A huge beast god howled and rushed forward, tearing through the bull man, stomping on the ape man and whipping its tail at the snake lady. The battle ended instantly. He had passed the foot of the mountain. This part sure was easy. He stepped forward. He had already forgotten that when he first became Sector Lord, he couldn't even pass this level. However, over his 7,000+ years in the Outer Region Wars, he had improved greatly. The mid-portion of the mountain was just as easy. At the peak, he had a little trouble, but with his powerful willpower, the moment he got serious, unleashing the strongest tail whip from the beast god allowed him to succeed. Congratulations, Your Majesty Luophone, you've passed the Sector Lord Primal Sky Mountain. Any human able to pass this is definitely an absolute genius of 10 million eras. Only those able to pass this can be considered the most pinnacle of geniuses in the history of humanity. The three guards revived and were incredibly surprised and respectful towards Luophone. Luophone stood at the peak, gazing at the vast land below. He could see the other two shorter mountains. As he stood there, thoughts filling his mind, the upper echelon of humanity had already gotten the news of him passing the Sky Mountain. This piece of news was like a tornado, swiftly spreading. This video will end here.